Okay, now you get wild hair. The hat makes me talk differently, so I'm taking the hat off. The snorkeling was intense. I think I might have mentioned this, but it's hard to describe what it feels like. Well, first of all, I just love, 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 love water. Like the feeling of me in water is like just spiritually home. So I'm doing that, and I'm doing that anywhere. And now I'm doing it in a place that's such a unique spot on the earth. And the water that's coming out of this fissure that leads into a lake is 3 degrees C, which is like barely above freezing, but it stays that temperature year round. It never freezes. Why? Because it's groundwater spring fed, and it comes from the hills, mountains nearby, where the water spends 30 years traveling through this sort of volcanic rock, and then it bubbles up into this one place. And so it's very well insulated year round, and it bubbles up at 3 degrees C, and it bubbles up crystal clear. So your visibility is apparently 300 to 400 feet, which is unreal. Like, honestly, when you snorkel, you're happy to see 10 to 20 feet of visibility, maybe 50. Like I've seen crystal clear waters that seem like weird, and they're like maybe 50 feet of visibility. To have 300 to 400 feet of visibility is just bizarro. So you're in this water, it's cold, it's kind of weird. You're floating on top because you're hyperbuoyant. You're in this like dry suit that's like a Stay Puft marshmallow. You couldn't get underwater if you tried. And so you're like looking around as best you can, but everywhere you see just goes on and on and on and on. It's like greens and blues and greens and browns that go on and on and on. And like you just never can see the end of it. Like the visibility is way longer than your line of sight. Like there's nothing that's 300 feet away. So anyway, like it's just super cool. Like that's all I can say. And then it's also plate tectonic, geologically cool, because that literally is where the Eurasian plate is spreading apart from the North American plate, and this fissure and the water lies in the gap. It's a little bit, yeah. And so I love the woo-woo part, and I love the water part, and I love the weird part and the cold part, except I wasn't cold. Got a little bit numb. My lips got so numb that I couldn't hang on to my snorkel anymore. So I would try to like swim, and the movement of the water would rip the snorkel out of my mouth. And suddenly I was like inhaling water, and I was like, why am I inhaling water? I shouldn't be. And, oh, it's because the snorkel's not in my mouth anymore. Oh, I can't even feel my mouth anymore. So yeah, that was cool. I loved it.